The moment my unfaithful wife boarded a plane to Europe to be with her lover, I set my plan in motion. I drained our bank accounts, packed up her belongings, destroyed every memory we had, and listed the house for sale. When she returned from her trip, chaos awaited her, but the real nightmare began when she and her lover were abducted at the airport. My ruthless revenge unfolded before her eyes. From the outside, Eliza and I were the ideal power couple. Married for 8 years, we had built a life that many envied. A beautiful villa in the Swiss countryside, shared investments and successful careers. She was an executive in the luxury hospitality industry, and I ran a private financial consulting firm. To the world, we were untouchable, a picture of love and success. But that perfect life started to crack a few months ago. Late-night calls, quiet conversations, and Eliza becoming more distant raised my suspicions. "It's just work stress," she would say with a forced smile, brushing me off. At first, I believed her, clinging to the illusion of our perfect life. But one mistake changed everything. One night, she left her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter. A single message appeared on the screen. "I can't wait to see you in Paris. Counting down the days, my love." I froze, my heart pounding as I scrolled through their conversation. The text revealed a secret affair with a man named Victor, a wealthy French hotel magnate. They had been meeting during her business trips to Europe, enjoying romantic getaways under the guise of work. The realization hit me like a knife to the chest. Every moment of doubt, every missed dinner, every distant embrace now had an explanation. She had been lying to me for years. I didn't confront her right away. I needed to gather more evidence, to fully understand the extent of her betrayal. Over the next few weeks, I collected photos of them together at fancy restaurants, receipts for extravagant gifts, and even a detailed itinerary for their upcoming trip to Paris. When she mentioned her next business trip, I pretended to support her. "Of course, darling," I said, smiling. "You work so hard, you deserve a break." Little did she know, this would be her final trip with Victor. As soon as Eliza left for the airport, suitcase in tow, and her phone buzzing with Victor's messages, I set my plan in motion. This wouldn't be a messy confrontation or a fleeting act of revenge. No, I wanted her to feel the depth of my pain. I wanted her to understand the true weight of betrayal. The first step was financial. Over the years, we had accumulated substantial assets, investments, savings, and property. I transferred every last cent from our joint accounts into an offshore account under my name. I left just enough in her personal account to keep up appearances during her trip, ensuring she wouldn't have access to the funds when she needed them most. Next, I packed up her belongings. Every trace of her clothes, jewelry, even framed photos, was boxed up and stored in a rented unit miles away. The villa was stripped of her presence, now a cold, empty shell of the life we once shared. I wasn't finished. I contacted a real estate agent and listed the villa for sale. Within hours, the listing was live and viewings were scheduled for the following week. My goal was simple. By the time Eliza returned, nothing would be left of the life she thought was secure. When her plane landed back in Switzerland, she texted cheerfully, pretending all was well. "Can't wait to see you." I didn't respond. At the arrivals terminal, she walked arm in arm with Victor, their laughter filling the air. But her smile faded when 2 men in dark suits approached them. "Eliza and Victor, you'll need to come with us," one of them said, showing his badge. Panic set in as they were escorted away. Their protests were drowned out by the hum of travelers who watched discreetly from a distance. I smirked. This was just the beginning. Eliza and Victor were taken to a cold, windowless room at the airport, the 2 men who intercepted them remaining silent as they locked the door. The tension in the air was palpable. "We haven't done anything wrong," Victor said, his confidence faltering as he looked at Eliza. One of the men leaned forward and placed a file on the table. "You're mistaken, Mr. Dubois," he said in a cold voice. "We have plenty of evidence to the contrary." The file opened to reveal documents, bank transfers, illegal business deals, and communication between Victor and several shady contacts. Eliza's name appeared frequently, linking her to the transactions. "What is this?" "I don't understand," Eliza stammered, her voice shaking. "It seems your affair has been funding some interesting activities," the man said with a smirk. "Fraudulent deals, tax evasion, and money laundering." He slid a photo across the table. Eliza and Victor laughing over champagne in Paris. The caption read, "Expenses charged to joint accounts." Victor's face drained of color. He tried to speak but couldn't find the words. Eliza's breath quickened as she realized the enormity of the situation. Meanwhile, I sat in my rented suite, watching the entire scene unfold on a hidden live feed. The men confronting Eliza and Victor weren't law enforcement. They were actors I had hired to stage this elaborate charade. The documents were forged but convincing enough to shake them to their core. The real objective wasn't to involve the authorities. It was to make them question every decision, to tear apart their trust in one another. The climax came when one of the men asked, "Who is behind this? Who tipped us off?" Eliza and Victor exchanged nervous glances. "I don't know," Eliza cried. "This is a mistake." The man smiled coldly. "Then why is your husband's name tied to these accounts? Why did we find evidence in your villa?" Eliza's face crumpled at the mention of me, the man she had betrayed. It was the final blow. The room fell silent as Eliza struggled to comprehend what was happening. Hours later, she and Victor left the airport, looking disheveled, their ordeal leaving them shaken. But it wasn't over.